Hello everyone, it's RINe. You might know me as Aya or Ten, and if you know my real name, please keep it to yourself. It'll be our little secret. Anyway, I'm here to continue playing Slay the Princess. Where we last left off, we started again from chapter 1, and this time the princess wasn't too thrilled to see us or anything. She sounds kind of dangerous. And we're going to be starting with chapter 2, which is titled The Prisoner. So let's check that out.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Great start. Alright. Alright, so in the last time that we did chapter 2, we didn't say these things, we just went and proceeded to the cabin. So, I'll read a few of these. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu. Wait, hasn't this already happened? Okay, no. But I died. What am I doing here? Oh, you bastard. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks. Again, proceed to the cabin, or we can turn around and leave. So, let's actually try some of this. Let's try, I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu? No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
But we know that's not true, right?
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
Ooh, I like this. The voice of the skeptic. Yeah. I don't exactly trust the narrator, but I do think that, oh yeah, that's right. Actually, why don't I trust the narrator? Well, the last time, like, we were trying to get out with the princess. We were gonna go up the stairs, and I already know that the door was locked. The narrator suddenly just got mad. He was like, he basically was like, I can't let you do this. And so he tried to double cross us, actually. He tried to backstab the princess who we were saving. And then, yeah, she killed us, but, whatever.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Alright, so this is more than just deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing really happened. Just happened. Proceed to the cabin or turn around and leave. I'm not interested in turning around and leaving. I still want to find answers in the cabin, so I'm gonna say this is more than just deja vu, though. I'm pretty sure this whole thing really just happened.
We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree.
Alright, so now we have, let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything? Or we can just proceed to the cabin, or we can turn around and leave. Let's argue with the narrator a little bit more.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting.
Okay, so he's calling us delusional, and for example, in our last playthrough, we went to the cabin, and there was like a mirror up, like, yeah, there was like a mirror, and the narrator couldn't see it, but we could. So he thought we were kind of nuts. And then I remember like cleaning off the mirror and it would disappear. But in chapter 3, I reached out, or I approached the mirror, and then I saw my own reflection, and the narrator's voice disappeared. Honestly, I can't remember anymore if the other voices disappeared, which is a little silly. I remember talking to the being that is, I guess, the whole of the princess, or the princess absorbing that version of herself. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so the narrator thinks that we're seeing delusions, and that may or may not be true, so let's find out.
But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
Ah, that's what you call it, huh? Alright.
Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Okay.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
It could be the latter. Like, 'cause, yeah, like, there are woods right now. But then again, I don't know what the cabin looks like just yet, so...
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
Well, we don't have any proof of that. We don't know.
What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are.
The four of us. Right, because it's me, the narrator, the voice of the hero, and the voice of the skeptic. Okay.
You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Okay, so... You know... Let's proceed to the cabin. No. Let's explore this a bit more. Let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
Okay. The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her, and all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end the world? Who locked her in that basement? What is this place? Never mind. Alright, so these are our three options. So let's go with that. The first one, I'm not going to read it again.
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
Alright, sure. Let's check our pockets, because the other is leave your pockets unchecked. Let's check our pockets.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front.
Okay.
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side.
Maybe sometimes you are on my side and sometimes you aren't. So I have to figure out when to trust you and when not to trust you. Similarly, I have to figure out when to trust the princess and when not to trust the princess. Okay, this is kind of weird.
You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Just about. We always talk in circles like this. Alright, so we have who locked her in that basement, what is this place, and that's all. So, let's talk about this. Why not? Because we go down into the basement, and I remember the first time we went back up to get the blade because I left it up there, and it was after I closed the door behind me that the lock clicked into place. But the second time around, I went upstairs or I was trying to go upstairs because I went to look for the key or something that the princess had mentioned, and then the door shut and locked, so we couldn't check. Alright, so let's have a look at this. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Okay. If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me? You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me? That's all. Alright. I think I'm not going to pursue this much further. He says people locked her in that basement, but I think that actually the narrator shut us in that basement somehow. Just like the narrator tried to get us to stab the princess in the back. So we're gonna go back to the cabin and we're gonna see what's going on.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Yeah, sure. Alright, so we're going to proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud?
You certainly did.
No, I didn't. Wink.
I like it.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Yeah, whatever. So, proceed into the cabin. Let's see what it looks like this time.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon.
Yeah.
A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay, I'm going to... I like this, actually. You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall. This whole cabin is different than last time. Approach the mirror, take the blade, enter the basement. So, these three are pretty much the same. Actually, most of these are the same. I didn't really explore how different the cabin looked last time. So, let's actually go with this whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
No, that sounds very sus. I know that we died. I know we were killed by the princess.
So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
These do not seem like minor details. Alright, let's ask him about the mirror on the wall, because he didn't say anything about it.
He definitely did not. Does the mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror.
Oh man! This is fascinating.
There isn't.
Oh boy.
I think you know what we have to do.
Okay. Alright, why would you lie about that? What's the point? I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. It doesn't matter. Remain silent or approach the mirror. Now, last time I did approach the mirror. As much as I want to ask, why would the narrator lie about this? I don't think that's really going to get us anywhere. I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. Sounds hilarious and great. It doesn't matter. Doesn't sound like something I want to do. Remain silent. I'm not sure. I approached the mirror the last time. I did a lot of approaching the mirror last time. Maybe I don't want to do that so much this time around. I don't know yet. But this is a very different response, so I kind of want to try that. I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am.
Let's not get caught up in vanity, but we should definitely take a closer look. Whatever it is, he must not want us to know about it.
Let's see.
Is this some sort of rehearsed bit? Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
So I don't think he can see it. I really think he can't see it. That's just maybe my opinion. Alright, so now we're stuck at this crossroads. Obviously the skeptic wants us to look at the mirror again. I want to take the blade like last time. So I'm gonna take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Okay, now we can approach the mirror, because why not?
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
We're gonna wipe the mirror clean, because that is the only option when we approach this mirror right now.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
We'll think about that. Let's see. Anyway, we're gonna enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps.
Ooh.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
We gotta be careful on these stairs.
Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Her tone of voice this time.
Does she remember us?
I think she does.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
She's much more restrained than last time.
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table.
Hmm.
Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
That was there last time too, wasn't it?
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just going to leave her here. Leave the princess in the basement. Sit with her or slay the princess. Wow. Man. What do I want to do? I'm not just gonna leave. I don't think that's gonna accomplish anything. But I don't know, she wigged out the very first time that I was gonna leave her in the basement because I went to get the blade that I'd left upstairs. I have the blade with me now. If I slay the princess, I won't learn anything right now. Ah, man. But I mean, if I do leave her here, I might learn new information, actually. Because I don't want to give in too quickly. I don't want to just sit with her. Man, this is really hard. Alright, I am going to leave her here.
The door locked behind us the last time we tried that, remember? As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually.
Welp.
That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else.
Alright.
Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
Oh boy.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
Yes, they locked me down here too last time as well. So I can sit with her or slay her. I guess I will sit with her. Why not?
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
Alright.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Alright. I think both of us are very wary anyway, so let's see.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
I can move closer, or I can sit where I was told. What do I want to do? Do I want to listen to her, or do I want to push the boundaries? Okay, I'm going to sit closer.
Do you think this is a game? Do you think these chains take away my say in things?
Oh boy.
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Wow.
The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
How impressive.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her.
Well, I think she knows that we kind of did try to attack her at the end of the last chapter. Because the narrator decided to take over our body, or tried to take over our body. So let's see.
I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if the roles were reversed? I don't know. How about we think about the nuances of interpersonal relationships when we're not being strangled? How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Well, we don't want to be strangled to death, so we're going to slay the princess. This is to save our own lives. We'll see how that goes.
You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you.
We're not much of a fighter, are we? 'Cause we don't seem very good at this, and the princess is always able to kind of aggress us and kill us. So that's very interesting.
But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart.
I'm sorry, I picked a bad time
chains
to,
loosen.
kill you.
The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge.
I didn't, but, I guess that was kind of chosen for me.
Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
Oh no. I need your help, though.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
And what reward would that be? You said it was going to be awesome and amazing. That's what you said. It'll be like the greatest thing. You said that in the first chapter of the first playthrough.
I don't like this. It was too easy.
It was. Kind of like it was too easy for us to die in chapter 2 of the first time we played through.
It was not too easy. We almost died.
Yes, but also...
That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably. Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now.
I don't know.
You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises?
Yeah, hero, what's up with that?
It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty, and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
Uh-huh.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
Alright.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
Is it, though?
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
Alright, let's open the door and accept our reward since it's the only option available.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom.
Okay.
Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows. But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward?
Wow, hero, you are so bent on the reward. I have to wonder about your heroics. Why do you do it? Do you do it to get rewarded?
This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it.
Where is the bliss? There's emptiness. There's nothing and no one. At least when the world seemingly ended last time, you know, because I was going to be eaten or something, at least the whole of the princess was there, and now there's nothing.
Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
The best is that we are alone.
Like hell it is.
Alright, so we have... That's BS. Let us out of here. I don't know, I'm pretty okay with this, or I was kind of hoping we'd get a better ending for saving the world. I'm totally down with that last option here.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No, this is the beginning of eternity. Your reward, like I just told you.
Why would I want eternity, like, all by myself in an empty place, with, like, literally nothing? I have great reservations about, like, just being nowhere with no one. Honestly, if I am ever to be stuck anywhere, I'd prefer it to be with a person, with someone else, with a companion of some sort. Sometimes it's just presence that is necessary. But, here we are. Alright.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
You don't get to dictate that for me. This sounds awful.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
Right. So... Alright, let's look at these. So, didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. We're happy. I disagree with that. Let's move on. What do you suggest then? I don't want to die again. I didn't like dying last time. I'm going to accept my reward now. I don't know. I am pretty happy. I'm going to accept my reward now. So, a lot of these are all either happy or accepting the reward. Let's ask the skeptic what he suggests.
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
You know, I'm down with that. I'm down with that right now because this sucks.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you.
Where's bliss? Alright, so here we go. We have... Didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy, we're happy. We have the same ones pretty much as last time. We can... You know what? Let's try... Before we actually see if we can, you know, do this. Let's talk about not wanting to die. As I mean, I didn't want to be strangled. I don't really want to, you know, do this either, but here we are. Here, let's try it.
That's great. Congratulations. You've earned it. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning.
I'm uncertain.
He's just saying things. The voice's protestations fall on deaf ears.
Goodness.
Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever. No, you stop that. Stop all this nonsense. You really don't want to be happy, do you?
Oh my gosh.
You know what you have to do.
Yeah, I kind of get it. Alright, so is there really no other way? Because I don't want to use a blade on myself. But I liked being happy. Are you really going to take it away from me? Do the deed, or sorry, we're not doing that. Let's try the first one, because I don't want to use the blade on myself. It sounds not great. It sounds kind of painful, but we'll see.
If it makes it easier for you, I can do it. Let me have it.
So can these voices also take over my body the way that the narrator did in Chapter 1 of this playthrough? Okay, so I can actually give it to him, apparently. So I'm not going to do this one. Give the blade to the voice of the skeptic, and then these other options. So we're going to give the blade to the voice of the skeptic and see if he can do the deed.
Alright. I'll make this quick.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
But this is so boring. I don't know how you're enjoying this at all, narrator. Do you like being alone? Maybe. I mean, he could be a hermit, actually. He could totally be a hermit.
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
If you hear any beeping, it's because rice is finished. I was cooking rice. Alright, anyway.
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
Yeah, fine. The little voice raises the pristine blade to your throat and cuts it open. You rapidly bleed out and then you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Who's being genocidal here?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Oh gosh. Alright everyone, that's where I'll be ending this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Take care.